Hey guys, I just want to do a quick how-to video in regard to, this is the Canik Rival S, and last competition, last USPSA match, I had a couple of malfunctions, which was a failure to extract, and so I did a little reading on some forums, and it seems like there's many people that have had this issue. Now granted, this gun has about 3,000 rounds through it, and the biggest issue that I found the next day was carbon buildup on the extractor spring, and basically that whole assembly. The other thing that I learned is that the extractor spring that comes with some of the rivals is underpowered, and so what I did was picked up the Galloway Precision plus 50% extractor spring, and so I am going to install that today. But your first bet, your first cheap option is to really clean that extractor spring and extractor assembly. And so I'm going to attempt to do this. It's kind of hard with a with a thumb rest, but it's really easy to break this down. You're taking your recoil spring out, and hopefully you guys have some good lighting. I may try to put this on the other side, so give me a moment. That might help out a little bit. Down to the surface. All right, so we're going to take our barrel out and put that to the side. And so essentially this is pretty easy. Your pin that you want to take out is right there, and so all you're going to do is depress this, and the extractor should pop out this way, and then it's just a matter of finagling the other two plungers and stuff like that out. So what I'll do is I'll depress this, and you can see that it popped out. I like to make sure that you can see that my other plunger and spring assembly came out as well. So we're going to pull that out. That's what that looks like. Okay, you've got that. Make sure that you remember which way that was facing. And then it's just a matter of pulling this out. All right, back to the operation. So you want to be careful. This is that plunger. It is small, comes with a small spring that, let's see, that goes like that. It actually sits like that within the extractor itself. And so you want to make sure that you put your hand over that, which I didn't this time, but luckily it popped on my desk. So make sure that you do not lose that. This is the stock spring that came in, the Rival S. And this is the Galloway Precision 50% plus. And so that is going to fit, hopefully you can see that, it's going to fit right in that hole right there. And so let me just see if I can get that placed. And you'll notice that, you know, it's skinnier on top, fatter on the bottom. The fat portion goes into that channel right there, so hopefully you can see that. So after 3,000 rounds, the extractor itself has a tendency to get full of carbon. Okay, so make sure you clean that really well. And then the extractor channel, along with your plungers, they tend to get pretty carbonized, especially if you're running like reloads and you've got a high smoky type powder. So mine after 3,000 rounds got gummed up. But like I said, I want to make sure that my extractor is running to high performance standards. And so that goes in there. I've had good luck with actually placing the spring and plunger in first. Okay, and I'm going to take my punch, and you can push it all the way down. Okay, and if you can see inside that channel, let me see if I can get a little closer. See inside that channel, You can see that it moves up and down, and that needs to be depressed in order for the extractor to fit in there correctly. Okay, the other thing that I want to note is you have that small, the small spring hole right there, and there's a little tab, a little nub, that fits right over inside of the spring hole. And so we can now begin sort of our assembly. And what I want to do is I want to put that in there, and hopefully my camera stays. Let me just move my lighting over a little bit. Yeah, so you're going to get that. And it's not going to go all the way in there because you have that spring and plunger that needs to be adjusted. So let's see if we can. You can tell that spring is much tighter, because this is going to be a little bit more difficult. Much tighter to put in place, which is a good thing. So I've got it sitting there. Hopefully you can kind of see, but I'm going to push down on this plunger and hopefully try not to lose it. And see, it's a tricky operation, I'm not going to lie. So hold that back like this. Take your plunger out. I'm going to have to move this back. I'm going to use see that? It's not going to be fun. Anyway, trust me that it's hard to do this with a camera in the middle of everything that's going on. Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't snap out of there. I'm almost there. Yep, okay, so that's in there now. It's going to take some finagling. Let me just get some light on the situation. But you can see that plunger is now in there. And now what I have to do is get this other plunger to seat correctly. And that is just going to drop in like this. And so what I will do is try to pull my extractor out in a way and drop this right in there. So let's see if we can do that. It might be sort of difficult to do with oh my gosh, a stupid camera. Let me make some adjustments here. Might be difficult to do given this extractor spring is much more difficult to deal with. I actually might have to drop them both in there, so let me just pop this out. And yeah, okay, now I can get that in there, and now I'm gonna have to do this all over again, and boom, we got it. Actually, that wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. So now my extractor is in there, and I've got both plungers seated correctly. And so that's the 50% Galloway Precision. The first time you do this, even the second time, it's kind of difficult to get both of those plungers and springs in there correctly. But once you do it the first time, second time, third time, it's going to be much easier. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys. First, make sure that you clean all the carbon and all the just the junk out of those channels. And secondary, it may be worth it also for you to get that 50% spring from Galloway Precision. Make sure you put this in your parts box specifically to the gun that you are working on. So, all right, thanks guys.
These guns are off.
Are you ready? Stand by.